All right, y'all, we back. Y'all know how we do. Always pushing help, well, better understand the self. Tap it in, man. Been a long week, man, but you know I gotta get back on it. Gilbert Arenas and Stephen A. Smith is on the headline today. And I put in the title, did Gilbert Arenas and Stephen A. sell out? It's been a lot of talk on both of them. And on my channel, y'all know I've been going over a lot of Stephen A. Smith. He's been like a big topic on my channel. But I'm gonna give y'all my opinion on this. But first, I'm gonna get into this. Gilbert Arenas, he got his show. Gilbert Arenas' show I guess it got exposed for having control where somebody else have control. And he's explaining it is not Gil's arena no more. It's the arena. And a lot of people are talking about having control over their platforms. And it's been big about ownership. So I'm going to give my take on what I think about it and give a business.
YouTube channel formerly known.
Let's get it.
As Gil's Arena.
Can y'all talk about that though?
Can we talk about what?
How like the new season?
I mean,
you probably know as much as.
I was gonna ask how often y'all gonna do it.
2 times a week. 2 times a week, brother.
Oh man.
Hey, we a podcast.
We already show, yeah. We already show.
I just wanted to see how often y'all was gonna do it, because I see other things going on. So I was just asking.
Well, according to reports, I know you're trying to be messy and instigate, but according to reports,
I'm not. I'm asking a question.
Hey,
this is
messy.
This is
be
a very
messy, Lo.
No, this is a very serious question.
Be messy, please. We need.
Now, if y'all don't know, they put this on the Gilbert Arenas podcast. So this is not on the Arenas podcast. So a lot of us are thinking that they're trying to grow another platform. Like maybe they feel like it may be the end of this platform and they doing some content on here. So I'm gonna give what I think, but they may have a strategy that they feel like is working.
I'm just asking how often y'all gonna do the show on a week to week basis. How often?
We've gotten 2 full days to do the show. We'll be on Wednesdays and Thursdays.
Just 2?
That's the information we were given. 2 days.
Yeah, not 5.
Wednesday, Thursday.
Not like go from 4 to 5. We're gonna go to 4.
So instead of them doing their YouTube whenever they want, like everybody else, we out here, we just do our YouTube, whenever we feel like it. We don't have nobody telling us when to drop, how to drop, what to drop about. You lose creative control when he explains how they took the 50-50 deal. And now you see their sponsor, the Underdog. It's pretty much, they want them to talk about football. And Gilbert Arenas is a basketball player. And he explains all of this, but it's good. This is informational to let everybody understand that, you could lose your channel dealing with people in 50-50 when they don't, it's like a marriage.
4 to 2. You see them 3? You see them 3 trophies right there? 1, 2, 3. That's 2025. That's what we won. And then we won 2025.
What are these awards?
We won Telly Awards. We won some Telly Awards, and we won Webby Awards.
Oh, well, I know Webby. I don't know about no Telly.
Yeah, we won Telly and Webby's, and we got 2 days now.
Why are y'all niggas acting like it's somebody else's arena? It's Gil's arena. So why y'all only doing it twice?
No, nigga, it's the arena. Soon as the cops put the motherfucking cuffs on my crip, the Gil was taken off. That shit went from Gil to duh.
Not even duh, Gil. THE, the correct, regular, grammatically correct spelling.
THE.
Now, when I hear that, I'm thinking, is that because of what Gil is saying, or is that from the 50-50 company? Because if you're telling somebody that and that's your company, like, yeah, I mean, I I want to get myself away from it because I don't want to tie into the company. It's cool, but when it's somebody else that's telling you to do that for your name, I don't know. It's just the optics ain't right now.
Now, Del Reed, I could have rolled with him. All right, shit, I can't even.
All right,
it's a little bit.
So and we got this.
What does that say on that, Brandon? I can't read. My eyes, my vision is blurry now. What
It's presented to Gil's Arena for passing 1 million subscribers on YouTube.
It does say Gil's Arena on that.
Yeah, we going crazy, but we only own 2 times.
Why you got the small one?
Huh?
Why you got the small one?
Is there?
I don't know. They didn't give us the big. I don't know why the big ones didn't come out.
I don't know.
They switched them though. The big ones are. They don't do the big ones no more.
What?
Do that?
You got a big one behind you.
Yeah, that's from Nightcap. That was the year before.
Oh damn, that's tough.
Yeah, that was a Nightcap one, and then the following year they came with the small joints.
So I got a trivia question for you guys. It's a multi-part question. The chat, you can chime in as well. What was the most viewed sports show on YouTube in January of 2025?
January? You mean January, February, March, April, May, June? What?
And July. Okay.
Gil's Arena.
Oh, you mean all the way until we took a break?
Until we take a break.
Oh, Gil's Arena.
Yeah, Gil's Arena. Easy.
So it's like, so y'all just cutting out so so the football show can breathe, or what y'all doing?
Yeah. Lo, these are great questions.
I think we got to wait till the.
You know what it is, Lo?
Season's over.
And here's the business part.
You have to wait till the football season is over.
Oh, okay.
So here's what he's gonna bring in the business part.
So from the business
so
side.
So y'all got to get the fuck out the way. So.
Now, from the business side of it is when it comes to like fantasy and betting companies, for some reason, football generates more money. Right? So like football season, on how everything goes every week, a lot of these companies make a lot of money during the football season. So how they're going to do for the year is depicted on football, not.
But he's speaking on Underdog. That's the sponsor for the channel. That's pretty much who owns the if I'm not mistaken. But who cares if they make money with football? We like seeing y'all content and the content that y'all bring. We don't care about the sports betting. But I don't necessarily think it's a bad play, because if they got so much money out of the channel, they could just start a new channel like they're doing now. So I don't know the dollar amounts of the money that they received from. So they all could have received a big check for the 50-50, and they could start up another channel. So I don't necessarily call him a sellout for that, but he had a great channel that I don't think it was worth him going 50-50. If he would do it again, I don't think he would.
Basketball. So no matter how great our numbers are, business-wise, football generates the most money with the fantasies and all of that. So it's not about how great our show is, it's how much money is generated through the sport. We were just an anomaly. We no one knew we was going to bust out like we did. Right? They had us as basketball, and they had like 9 football shows. And we was outperforming all of them combined.
Times 10.
But you're saying y'all generate more for fantasy, not from a viewership standpoint.
No, we do both. We outperform everybody in both categories.
I'm saying for y'all though. I'm assuming the reason why is because they are willing to provide more for the football show.
Yeah, I guess they got a football show that they think can help them get those numbers that they're looking for. So they want to try it out. So they're going to try it out for this year and see what happens.
You keep saying they, you know what I mean? So it's like, it's not what y'all want to do. And that's what we want to really see. Like, we like to see, like, when I know some of these shows is being pushed by some big company that's trying to make money, it just they were better off letting Gil do his thing and keep this on the back burner. Because now that we all know that this is Gil's Arena and this is how it's pumping, and y'all just want to make football money. That's just my opinion. Maybe they'll still pump, but I feel like it ain't no.
No, but low. I'm gonna be on playback. We're gonna be on playback, low. So yeah. So I'm gonna do my thing, low. It don't matter. We're gonna be on here.
Yeah,
you know, we just ain't gonna be in the arena.
Although I got that media credential too for
we gonna be in office, low.
Okay, I gotta go to Milwaukee for sure.
We're gonna be in battle mode, low. I might shit. Hey, look, to be honest, low, I got so much time. I might fuck around, come to your crib. Oh, what you doing over there, man? You know what I mean? Have one of those 24-hour streams.
No, we're not doing that. But I hear you. I hear you.
So we have a question.
24-hour stream, low.
I'm not doing a 24-hour stream. What the hell?
Gil, we have a question from 2K God. He said, question from 2K God. He said, if football is popping, why did they have to take over your channel? Why couldn't they make their own channel and make that pop?
Exactly.
Question mark.
Make a football.
That's what we would have said. That was the argument. But as a family,
am I asking too many questions?
No. As a company, no. As a company, you don't want to start from the beginning. Most people don't like the grind of anything, right? You know, they want something that's already turnkey and go. So why should they start from the beginning? Listen, we are expensive. We're not your average podcast expenses. We get paid a lot of money. So because they pay us a lot of money and we not taking no pay cuts in here, if they say your ass gonna do 2 days a week and we want to try what they do for 3 days a week and we keep our money, hey man, hey, do your thing, man. We'll see. Shit. Do your thing, man, right? Because at the end of the day, we can say, oh, hell nah, fuck that. And then they start cutting contracts. So if they want to go ahead and try 3 days a week until football season's over with and then recheck their hand, cool. Everybody still got their jobs.
Employment is key.
I can tell you this. I can tell you this. With the way our contracts is doing.
He said employment is key until you don't have that employment anymore. So what this sounds like, what could happen, is they're so focused on getting the money and they saying, man, we're expensive. And they're trying to charge the people so much money that eventually them people going to fire y'all, bro. If they got that much power to tell you when you're doing shows and when you're not doing shows, eventually you're going to get replaced because you're too expensive. That's how the game works. But it may not be a bad play, in my opinion, if they got a lot of money out of them and they could just go start another channel. So I can't necessarily say the Gil's Arena made a bad decision by going 50-50 because we don't know how much money they was paid. If they was paid higher than any other podcast and they got their money and they start a new one, it may have been a bad deal. Now, would I have did all of that? No, I would have wanted to keep my podcast, because they had a great thing going. I even checked them out. I was checking them out, subscribe to them and everything. But now that it's the arena, it still seems like they pushing out quality content, but it's like just to know that it ain't Gil. You know, sometimes when you know the person that's the face of it is theirs, you kind of have a lot more respect, and I respect the Gil. But now that I don't respect the underdog, that gambling channel. I mean, they all right, but it's just I don't really respect them. Let me let them go. I'm babbling.
They could say, hey man, we're gonna let about 6-7 of y'all go. And turn y'all ass into
We're gonna let 6-7 of y'all go. That's what they're gonna tell you. They're gonna tell you that. They're gonna tell you that it's coming. Because y'all getting so much money. Y'all so expensive. They're gonna have to tell you that eventually.
Yeah.
I'm kind of confused. And again, I feel like I'm asking too many questions, so I'm not.
No. You can take over this playback right now, sir. Because if you ask questions, we can answer them. We will not bring these topics up. But
we ain't no sellouts.
Okay, because this is now forcing me to ask very specific questions, just because how familiar I am with the community and like what's going on in the space.
Okay.
So I'll just cut to the chase. Who owns the channel?
50-50.
Oh, okay. Well, it sounds like 49-59. I mean, 51-49.
No. Well, okay. So here was the deal. So, because this is my question. So this was my original channel that I built.
Salute, man.
When I started podcast and then went to Fubo,
South Carolina.
and then because we was on linear, we was on Fubo Network.
It's the same channel from that. It's the same channel from Fubo.
Yeah. No, but I had Fubo create their own channel, and this channel stayed dormant from 2018 to 2023. So basically, what I did is I said, "Here, we can use my channel instead of going with what was that? Showtime, Josiah. What was that first company that was trying to come in?
What Showtime Basketball, right?
Yeah. So I said instead of us going on Showtime, I got a YouTube channel. And I said, listen, I'll give you guys 50% of the YouTube channel if you guys fund it. If you guys can have full control, like where it comes to thumbnails, creating, because I didn't know nothing about none of that. So you guys had the infrastructure. You give me the infrastructure, we're good.
Talking about thumbnails, bro. He gave up his channel. He gave up people creative control because he didn't know about thumbnails and titles and all of that crap. That's what I'm saying. Looking back on it, people should look at this and be like, dang. Because both lost. The company lost and Gil lost. Because at the end of the day, now that this cat is out the bag, this is just how I felt personally. That I know now that Gil ain't the total owner of it is like, I'm not as interested as I was when I know, this was Gil and this standing on Gil business. Once I know it's a sponsorship, it's just like I'm not as interested in the content as I was.
And that's how it went.
How long does that last?
I'm a free agent, and we're me and Joe free agent this summer. BJ just signed a 2-year deal, right? BJ, you just signed. You got re-upped?
Yeah, I signed a 1 year.
Oh, you signed 1 year. Oh, yeah. So we all free agents
In the summer 26.
Yeah.
Yes.
Damn.
Yeah.
I guess there's other questions that need to be asked, but we won't ask them now.
So free agent basically mean, I don't know what they talking about free agent. They can sign anywhere else. They sound like this like basketball or something, like they on a team or something, like they still employed. Like we on these YouTube streets and we totally independent entrepreneurs doing our thing. Everybody got something going on, but we on YouTube, but we entrepreneurs, we don't have no company that's paying a check to us. And there's nothing wrong with getting a check and being an employee, but they're up in 2026. So if they would have had their own YouTube channel, they could have just been doing content. They didn't have nobody to have to sign a contract with and say it's up. I mean, if y'all can understand, now they have to. And I don't know how good the money is, so I can't say if the contract was good or not, but to each his own.
We've said enough. We've said enough.
No. Here's the thing: is whatever question you ask, we asking the same thing. We asked the same thing. It was one of those things, man, where when you're sitting here, you talking about, I'm thinking, listen, we're gonna go 5 days a week. They're gonna start a new channel. And they're gonna do, they can start off at 3 days a week. And I was like, well, we don't spend this kind of money for those guys, and we have y'all big contract. As a business, we're not really making any money off you guys. You guys are doing great, but the sponsorships ain't coming in. For us to pay for the skips and nothing, we got to let some of your guys go. You see, when you started hearing shit like that, you be like, all right, no, put it on the same channel.
Damn, you see, it's like, bro, they didn't have to do this. They didn't have to partner with nobody for thumbnails and titles. He said he did this because he didn't know nothing about thumbnails and titles. That's like small. You could have went to Fiverr and figured that out.
Because the last thing I want to do is, you got, Lexi, I can already see the people that are going to start letting go. And I'm like, not right now, man. We ain't got time for that. We moving.
You already see some of the people he was going to let go. Yeah, they was going to start letting you in. Yeah, going to start letting y'all go. They're going to do it eventually. It's going to happen. Y'all just, the process is being prolonged. But I'm sure people are losing. The channel's straight, though, to be real. They're producing good content. It's just they ain't got Gil in the front line no more. I don't know why they don't want Gil in the front line, but Gil in the front.
Dodgers in the 9th inning.
Damn.
Here's a secondary thought. I've done a few things on the internet and social media, as some of you may know. Check out Memes and Nightmares on Hulu when you get a chance. The other thought is just to embrace the LaQuint Dickey model and say, I'm gonna work you niggas to death to get my bread back. So instead of 2 days, how you go 7?
It's a lot of questions to be asked. I ain't. Cause
Now when he say work you niggas to death, it make me seem like the people, and we could have known that, you know what I'm saying? The people that's your superiors are European descent. Sad though. It's a sad situation for them boys.
I'm gonna get real nasty.
Bases loaded too. Let's go. That's not even nasty. This just the game is the game, ladies and gentlemen. There are things
it's not.
Things you can't control.
I mean,
no,
man.
not.
Listen, let's just say
I don't subscribe to that. I don't subscribe to that. I don't.
A lot of let's just say a lot of original Gil's Arena staff, man. You know, we got to mail them the million plaque. Let's just say that.
And y'all and everybody in the chat, y'all know what side of the internet I come from. I come from. Everybody that I know from that side of the internet owns everything that they do. AMP owns that. When AJ and I was doing playback and peer-to-peer, we own that. Bro, we and I've every YouTube channel I have done, I have owned. Davis, every channel he owned. Kai, Duke, Phantom, they've all owned. So the idea of like someone owning something that they don't, I've never in my life. Matter of fact, I even convinced niggas to cut off they CMCs so they weren't nobody taking no cuts at all. So I've never, that wasn't me. That wasn't me. I couldn't.
But that's how it's supposed to be. I appreciate what he's saying, but this makes more sense to me.
It wasn't me.
That shit happened to me though.
Yeah, it wasn't. And to be fair, the money is crazy when they put it in your face, but then it's like every like 3 to 4 months, if you just dedicate a little bit more time, it's like, man, that shit don't even like what y'all like. The price keep going more and more up, so it's like, what the fuck?
Listen, listen. What you're saying is 100%, and you know, I always talk about 100% ownership. But I had to make a decision when I first started, right?
What? You? If you talk about 100% ownership all the time, bro, this is when we see what you really about. Because that's when you can't talk about stuff, in my opinion, bro, and then you don't act and do it, you know? 100% ownership is definitely, I mean, and it ain't nothing wrong with partnering with people, but when you see this happen, we don't like it. It's people don't like that, bro.
And I needed infrastructure, what I didn't have, right? Starting up a YouTube channel, we were on linear. I wasn't using this channel. So giving up 50% of a channel I didn't use seemed like the best idea to get a full studio and do all that, right? Put the boys on, fully paid for, didn't see us going to this point. I didn't care about.
That's the problem. You don't see you going to that point, so you thought you was using them people money, but them people using you. You was gonna go to that point because you had a lot of people connected together. It's something I read called, it's like synergy. You get enough people on a goal, it's like it's gonna do what it do. But that's why you got to keep your control, because he ain't think it was going to happen. If he could redo it,
I didn't care about the YouTube channel because it's pennies. It's pennies to what we make. Yeah. It's pennies to what we make. Pennies to what we make.
Long term, or are you talking about
right now? It's pennies to what we make. So put it like this: if I own this and they said pay your staff, nigga, I can't afford not one person on my staff.
Not me. I'll be elsewhere.
That YouTube, then put it like this: the YouTube makes about $3-4 million a year.
Somebody got it.
Okay, that ain't our staff. Let's just say that our staff is way over 4 million a year. Might be a month.
Damn. So now we see what he's talking about. Now I can understand of how they sold the channel for 50-50. Well, you could just start a new channel. You was getting $1 million a month. I can understand that. But I would have did it for all of that. I mean, who knows, bro? I don't think he's a sellout though for doing what he's doing and getting the money, but it's something that we need to learn from what they're doing and understand that Underdog made money. They had the channel. They paid y'all high. So it was good business for them. Y'all got paid, but now they looking at it as they could do that and make money like that with cutting their costs down. They could pay somebody $100,000 a year, $200,000 a year. Instead of paying y'all millions of dollars a month, we got more money in there for us. That's gonna be the play. When your contract is up, they're not gonna like y'all got paid for the channel. They're not gonna keep them for that same money. It's gonna be other people they're gonna breed in new. It just makes sense. That's what business is. And we'll probably see Gilbert Arenas in them on another one, but let me know what y'all think in the comment section. I'm gonna tap into your boy Stephen A. Smith. I didn't watch my girl April Chapman. She had an interesting perspective on Stephen A. The strangest one that I seen. So I wanted to tap in to April Chapman and see what she said. See how she broke down. But y'all know Stephen A. Smith and Jasmine Crockett got into it, and it's been a lot of people been calling Stephen A. Smith out, and I've been calling Stephen A. Smith out before all of this Republican, Democrat, or politician drama they got going on, just for how he was holding black men, trying to hold them accountable. I think he talked about something from OJ. He was trying to say black people don't need to be celebrating OJ. It was like he's like the public police officer to say things to black people, in my opinion, and I ain't felt like it was genuine. I feel like it was disingenuous what he was saying. But check this out. This is April Chapman. She be standing on business for the culture, man. Y'all make sure y'all check her channel out. Her, Savvy Sal, you know, I be rocking with them, man. Introvert Rock Star, my boy, Black Band Network. So I gotta stay on code.
You Jasmine Crockett or somebody like that. Ladies, I respect. Intelligent women. No doubt. But how a Jasmine Crockett chooses to express herself, I'm like, is that going to help your district in Texas? Aren't you there to find a way to get stuff done as opposed to just being an impediment to what Trump wants? How much work goes into that? I'm just going to go off about Trump, cuss him out every chance I get, say the most derogatory, incendiary things imaginable, and that's my day's work. That ain't work. Work is saying that's the man in power. I know what his agenda is. I'm not exactly in a position to stop him since the Republicans have the Senate and the House. But maybe if I'm willing to work with this man, I might get something out of it for my constituency. Because like Joe Manchin said, he's there to represent, or was there for 15 years to represent the people of West Virginia. She's supposed to be there to represent the people of Texas. I don't know. Maybe that just sounds ignorant because it's so simple. But it ain't that damn complicated. We make it complicated. Damn, it's frustrating.
Poor Stephen. Stephen, really I am so sorry. Stephen, I'm so sorry that you are experiencing this. But I was writing down, taking some notes. But first, when I first saw this clip, right? When I first saw it, I laughed because I laughed not because it's funny. I laughed because I already knew the backlash that was forthcoming. So first, let me just engage with a few things that he said. First, he called Jasmine Crockett intelligent. I think that was just him being gracious. What I believe, hear me clearly. I understand she was educated, formally educated in a very pristine, private, prestigious high school and quality, top-notch education, right? And then she went to Rhodes College. She's passed the bar. She is educated as far as book smarts go, or perhaps I would even argue it's more of an indoctrination into a worldview.
Indoctrination is deep. It's deep. But I think both of them are acting, in my opinion. I do think Stephen A. saying some stuff because he's trying to run for president right now, and he's gonna be saying stuff that makes sense. Jasmine Crockett to me is just this is a typical Democrat, passionate. It's always, I ain't gonna say typical because she's that new age Democrat. And I ain't really too into politics. I'm just a couple years into this politics stuff, but it just seems like it's all theater. It doesn't seem like nothing's really happening. Nobody really doing nothing. It's just people making money. That's how I see it. That's how it looks like, but
I wouldn't necessarily label what Jasmine has acquired in it is too simple and it's righteous. Not calling you righteous, but the wisdom that you were giving here was righteous, and they don't want that. And so, now what we need to do is let's take a look at the crash out from the woke blackity blacks, okay, the bliggities, the woke justicians. I love saying that. Y'all, I'm sorry. Yes, I am using inflammatory language here. I shame, I mock, I do a lot of that because you have to. These people need to be shamed so that they can see the tomfoolery of their actions on full display. And it needs to be shameful for them to act this way. And so what I do is I just elevate who they are and I put it on full display for everyone to see. And yes, I do mock. I do. But let's watch the crash out.
And I would put Stephen A. Smith in that category too. I'm mad at y'all for having joy. I'm mad at y'all for having success. I'm mad at y'all for surpassing us on college campuses. And so it's a small sect of men that are so angry and hurt that they're willing to align with the people who oppress us. What am I getting wrong? Because if you listen to Stephen A. Smith and you find anything other than some absolute pure self-hating little dick energy nonsense from that half-witted idiot basking in the non-existent rays of his own ignorance, it is sad to me that he even gets an audience of black men. Why aren't black men right now saying, Stephen A. Smith, we banning him, we not listening to his podcast, we're not watching his show anymore? That's what black women do. We organize.
Yeah, okay, men are not doing that because they're not led by their emotions, right? They don't crash out when someone says something that pushes up against their deeply held presuppositions. They're actually able to hold on to a modicum of reason and logic and hear the argument and then craft a credible response to the argument if they disagree. What you are doing, Ms. Cross, is you want black men who are using and operating in wisdom and who see the trajectory of the way our culture is going, and you want them to abandon logic and reason and wisdom, and you just want them to side with you because you feel some sort of kind of way because one person said something about Jasmine Crockett, which is true, but you don't like it. And so instead of you actually listening to what Stephen A. said, you decide to insult him and make assumptions about his man parts when we don't even know the last time you seen one of those because you single as all get out because your attitude is trash and you're an orangutan. And then you sit here in the company of these little beta blockers, these beta male soy boys who are so weak that they are afraid of you, and that's why they don't challenge you. When I saw this clip, I laughed. And I laughed because women like Tiffany Cross are incredibly delusional. Just delusional. Now, to be fair, they are part of the main reason. Y'all ain't gonna like this, okay? But somebody got to say it, okay? She is part of the main reason why the Black community is so messed up to begin with. Hear me clearly. I am not an apologist for Stephen A. Smith. Okay, to me, he's a liberal. He's still a liberal. He tries to front like he's not, or like he's a centrist, but he's not. He is still a liberal. He might hold to some social conservative norms, but he votes like a liberal out of fear and for corporate protection and to hedge himself against the.
So basically, it's a Democrat show. Basically, what April is saying, and I agree. I feel like they just trying to align themselves to cover all aspects of conversations that people can have to get out of this Republican and Democrat. So they're going to try to build somebody up to make us feel like they're the president. But really, it's going to be the same, sending that money across the water and doing all of the
backlash. But as the left gets more loony, people like Stephen A., who on some level still have a little bit of common sense, people like him, to a progressive like these over here, sound conservative, even though he's not. So this clip, and I'm not finished playing it, it made me laugh because I'm like, so now she's saying that she's mad at Black men because they won't cancel Stephen A. But then she also said, y'all are mad at us because, what did she say?
How you mad at Black men for not canceling? You don't even know. We already been talking bad about Stephen A. Like, you wait for him to get on some Republican and Democrat stuff, and you want us to stand tall, stand on business for that white liberal campaign.
Have joy. I'm like,
flag on the plate.
When the last time you actually met a liberal Black woman that exhibited signs of joy or inner peace? Lady, you have no joy. This is why y'all act the way that you do. You're very bitter and you're broken people. There's no joy. But she said, y'all are mad at us because we have joy. Y'all are mad at us because we have success. And y'all are mad at us. Y'all, I don't know. Y'all are mad at us because we have, we're doing we've got all these college degrees. And I'm like, the delusion. You really think men are mad at that? First of all, you don't have joy. They're not coveting the joy. In fact, the further away that they get from some of y'all, the more joy that these men actually tend to have. Let's be truthful. I'm gonna keep it 100. But success, there is that projection of, because she's achieved success, she thinks that Black men are coveting their success and that Black men are coveting these useless degrees. Trust me, they are not. I know so many Black men who do not want your little funky college degree, and the little success that you think you've achieved, they wouldn't trade it. They would not trade in their peace and their joy in the simpler things in life for the alleged success that you think you've achieved. They don't want what you have. In fact, they're trying to figure out why you just won't cooperate with them so that y'all can work together in a complementary relationship to help rebuild the Black family, but y'all don't want that. So you're mad, in one breath, you say that you're mad at Black men because they won't cancel Stephen A. And then in the next breath, you pit Black men against Black women again by alleging that they're mad at you because of joy, some perceived success, and some college degrees. How shallow are you? That is so shallow. But it made me laugh because I'm like, you're looking at him and wanting him to cancel Stephen A. And I'm like, so now y'all want Black men to lead? Right? You don't want them to lead in the home. You don't want them leading with the kids. You don't even want them leading when it comes to establishing or reinforcing moral standards on you. You just want him to lead when it's time to bankrupt a successful Black man. for telling the truth about a mop-head Democrat Muppet mascot. Like, you want black men to lead in that. That is the height and the pinnacle of the black male leadership that you are calling him to.
Crazy.
I get it. Okay, duly noted. Duly noted. Her diatribe is laughable to me. It is laughable to me because they're not mad because Stephen A. lied. They know darn well he's telling the truth. They're mad because he said the quiet part out loud. So let this clip finish playing, and then I'll continue. It's almost done.
I do not like him. I peeped him early. I peeped him early. I knew what he was about. Let me tell you something, family. Anytime I hear racist white people say they like you and you black, I already know you're a sellout. I already know you're shucking and jiving. I already know you're not for your people.
Damn, you can't say it no better than that. I just did a show yesterday not yesterday, but a couple weeks ago, and we was talking about, I can't forget the guy's name. I keep losing his name because he's a sellout, but anytime you talk to a white person, they're going to tell you, oh, Thomas Sowell. They're going to say, man, Thomas Sowell, that black guy. And it's like, anytime it's like that, bro, that person is a sellout. They have compromised the ideology of what the higher ups want them to do. I don't know if they groom these black guys, but anytime you hear them gloat, and they do that with Officer Tatum right now. Officer Tatum's a good, and you'd be like, bro, this dude ain't even standing on business. So Willie D is saying he is right, bro. Them people ain't finna gloat you. We don't see them gloating Malcolm X. They don't be talking about Malcolm X like that. They don't be talking about none of our, guys that stood on business like that. They don't be saying, oh man, that guy was awesome. They don't talk about the Black Panther Party, Bobby Seale, and Huey P. Newton. Man, those guys they will never be saying that.
I know that for a fact. It's very easy.
Y'all, I'm sorry. I cannot take Willie D serious. That man speaks as if he just got off a slave plantation. Now, he is a slave and he is absolutely oppressed. He's a slave to it in his mind, and he is an ideological oppression. But I can't take him serious. I forgot that I left him on the back of that clip. But what I wanted to say was that he's mad. All the folks on Twitter are mad, and all of the individuals on this Podland. I don't even know the name of this podcast. They're mad because Stephen A. said the quiet part out loud. Okay, Stephen A. exposed how all of that brand building blustering that Jasmine Crockett does. They know that that's not legislating. They know it. And Stephen A. basically said that if you're in Congress.
And he's right, but we've been calling out Jasmine Crockett. April, we've been saying that this is like, she's not standing on that. Thomas Sowell had a quote that I liked. Then I looked into him and found out he was a Sambo for real, bro. And they'll catch us like that too. They'll be having stuff we like, and they'll catch us.
To rack up retweets and views for yourself. Your district is the one that's going to continue to rack up problems. And so he wasn't wrong in what he said. They just, who gonna check me, boo? None of them want to be held accountable. And everybody, I can't tell you how many videos have been made about Jasmine Crockett's behavior since she's been in Congress. Stephen A. is not the first one to say it. It's the fact that he's got such a large platform and he said it out loud. And now they're mad because it's like, well, you should be celebrating her no matter what. And so here,
I think it's really the Democrats. Like, I seen Plies, right? I seen him talk about it, and I always be watching Plies be having a political stance on things. I think Plies with the Democratic Party on the low. Just how he be talking, he ain't standing independent. I really be wanting to hear from people who standing independent, bro. You ain't got no fight in the battle. You don't even care. You just speaking your mind and speaking the truth. But
there's a few things I'd like to say. Not that Stephen A will ever see this video, but Stephen A, listen, from one truth teller to another, in this context, you told the truth. You were not wrong. Okay, I am a sensible Black woman who has disagreed with you on a lot. I don't like how you have wavered and faltered between all these varying degrees of opinions. But that's
what I'm saying. I don't know why she trying to act like Stephen A did this, but we've been talking about this lady and saying she was this and that. But I'm gonna check out what my boy Introvert Rockstar, what he had on this. Let me show y'all this. But yeah, I don't know why she ain't giving us. I'm with you though, Jarvis. Grassroots, really. So this is, y'all know my dog Introvert Rockstar. I've been rocking with him for a minute. He exposed the D'Angelo death, man. I wanted to tap into that. I ain't tapped into D'Angelo past, but my man brought up some good points. He always bringing up some good stuff. I want to know what y'all think about this. I got an interesting perspective. Yeah, Stephen A, man. She called Stephen A truth teller. Man, she crazy. And any politician gonna say a little bit of truth, you know what I'm saying? Every here or there, they gonna say something, you know. But Stephen A, out of all people, but he is running for president. So I think this is part of his campaign. It's like beef with the Democrats, beef with the Republicans. Let everybody see that you standing in the middle. When you really a Democrat, you know, you really a liberal for real. I don't know what to tell you, but because he with Disney, he signed to Disney and them, and they're with that liberal stuff. So, but check this out, man. R.I.P. to D'Angelo. But we've been covering Angie Stone, me, Introvert Rockstar, when how she died, and he had something to do with it. And I want y'all to check out and let me know what y'all think, man. This is getting spooky out here, but check it out.
Black Messiah is I think the most socio-political stuff I've done on record. I think just in lieu of everything that's been going on in the sign of the time, it's like something needs to be said, and it's so few that's doing that right now, and that was funny to me because there's so much going on with all the the Black Lives Matter movement that's going on, all young Black men and women just getting killed for nothing. And I've always been a big reader and fan of history, and I love the Black Panthers and all that stuff.
Saw you hanging out with Bobby Seale.
Yes, sir.
That's a nice piece of the New York Times.
Oh my God.
I love that piece.
Oh, thank you.
We'll talk more about that, but go ahead. Is there anything about the business that has changed that you do like over these years? I mean, certainly technology has changed, but you such a stripped down sort of cat anyway, in that way. But is there anything about the business that you like that's changed over these couple decades? He paused. Okay, moving on. I guess not. But that doesn't surprise me, man, because the game has changed in so many ways that people are just annoyed by.
I think that the technology. It serves for potentiality for a lot of new. It's scary, you know. Everything moves cycles. So as bad as it can get, there's still like the silver lining behind that, because you know it's got to come.
So check it. He was hanging out with Bobby Seale. He liked the Black Panther Party. That's already, you know, they don't like that. Now I didn't know he was with Angie Stone. Like they were together, and they was making music together. I heard a song that they made, and it was like powerful love song. So it's crazy, man.
Around at some point, and I can feel it. You can feel it bubbling underneath. Yeah.
And you already know on this channel we hold racist Caucasian people accountable, because if we don't, who will? And before we start this video, if you don't like black people, black issues, black talks, get to stepping. And look, before I spaz out in this video, I just want to show y'all how the music industry, they use our people. They use them up and they spit them out. They don't give a damn about them. They don't care if you die early from cancer. They don't give a damn about none of that. Check this out.
Now, we just was on and we talked about Gilbert Arenas and your boy, Gilbert Arenas and his channel, and how now they telling him he only could do shows 2 days a week. And we seeing how you don't need to be having nobody owning your stuff. It's just, you know, they don't do right by it. So it's like, that should let people know, don't let them people own your stuff, bro. We don't need that.
D'Angelo's relationship with his record label soared after the album Voodoo. He clashed with executives who pushed an image he didn't want, especially after the untitled How Does It Feel video. He felt the industry was exploiting this image instead of respecting his artistry. As the years passed, D'Angelo's creative disputes turned financial. Virgin Records lost patience with the slow pace and cut funding around 2004. Without label backing, his albums were shelved and tour income dropped. Contract changes and royalty delays left him struggling financially, even as his legacy stayed strong. By the time Black Messiah dropped in 2014, D'Angelo had already faced years of label disputes, tax debt, and lost earnings. The long hiatus and industry conflicts played a major role in his financial troubles, showing how business pressure can break even the.
So y'all don't understand, he died because after 30 years of his album, they saying that he was due all them royalties and all of that money. See, when they take advantage of people, after a certain time, you got to get those royalties back. Like, they rob people. So it'd be better off after they done robbed you to take you out. This is what people think.
Most talented artists make sense. And I want y'all to do your research on Richard Branson. At the time, he was the owner of Virgin Records. And I want you to see what our people go through dealing with these evil-ass record labels. Because just like Angie Stone, D'Angelo didn't sell out. So when you don't sell out, they cut your funding. When you don't sell out, it's no more tours. When you don't sell out, they stop pushing your music. When you don't sell out, they put you in debt on purpose. Tell me I'm lying. Look at what they did to Angie Stone, bro. They stole.
So y'all see that? This man was making a certain type of music, love music, putting people together. Then they like, this don't fit our narrative of black people. We want, you know, we want you to do this. And they like, you like, nah, I ain't doing all of this. They cut your ability to still be able to reach the masses, bro. It's like they want you to sign an oath, but you ain't signed that oath yet. And this is how, when you probably see these one-hit wonders, they probably had something that where they ain't want to get down.
Money from her for over 20 years. Matter of fact, I told y'all, I forgets nothing. I remember what Angie Stone said before she was murdered. Run the tape.
Anyway, it was told to me that they were single-handedly put in charge of sending out letters everywhere to make people think that I was the cause of him being exposed to alcohol, to drugs, to everything that could have gone wrong. and we need you to mail this out. And that person knew that it was all fabricated. And they were willing to go on record. And they don't care today, but they're willing to go on record to tell the truth, that they actually mailed letters out into the industry blaming me for the fall and the demise of someone's career. It really gets me upset.
It's messed up.
Because I don't do drugs. I don't do any of this stuff. So the person...
That's my dog right there, man.
Let me know, and it's going on record to say that when the time comes, they will step up to the mic and let it be known that that was their assignment, to destroy my credibility by way of making me look crazy in a relationship that was innocent and pure and real. As a matter of fact, it was so real and pure. You could tell by the nourishment of the music then was just pleasant. It was real. It was pure.
And look, let's be real. You think these people really wanted Angie Stone and D'Angelo together? Not no fake love. This was real love. They was making powerful songs. Songs like Everything. Songs like Cruising. And my all-time favorite, Brother, If You Know, You Know. And they didn't just ruin that perfect relationship. They are the reason that Angie Stone is dead today. And how ironic. Her kids just filed a lawsuit back in September. Check this out. And this article is by AP News. It was published September the 4th, 2025. Hopkins and Stone's two children, Diamond Stone and Michael D'Angelo Archer, filed the lawsuit. They're suing the van driver, the truck driver, the man and companies who own the van, the trucking company, and the maker of the 18-wheel truck. The suit claims that the truck's collision avoidance system was faulty and failed to detect the van lying stationary in one lane of the interstate. The suit also claims that the truck driver was listening to music on headphones, wasn't paying attention, and never braked before slamming into the van at nearly 70 miles per hour. Make that make sense. Until this day, that truck driver was never arrested. Till this day, we haven't seen video images of this truck driver. Matter of fact, they said they're doing the whole investigation. Where is the results? We have no results. They
knew it was a hit, man. This is what I'm saying. Like, it's music industry. If somebody, we don't need to have nobody sign no record deals. But to know that this happened to this lady, I gotta say what D'Angelo went through. Somebody going to
have to do the investigation. If you look up his name of the truck driver, it's only one picture of him. Y'all don't find that suspicious? Look, I don't put nothing past the music industry. They would do anything. And yeah, we know that D'Angelo died at 51 years old from cancer. But let me ask you this. Who caused that? Don't worry, I'll wait.
Dang, they did. They caused it.
And then I started thinking, Aaliyah dead at 22, Tupac dead at 25 years old, Left Eye dead at 30 years old, Phyllis Hyman dead at 45 years old, Donny Hathaway dead at 33 years old, Nipsey Hussle dead at 33 years old. And I can go on and on. How ironic. It seems like our most important celebrities that speak up for the people, that actually care about their people, it's like they always dying young in mysterious ways, or they dying young from certain illnesses. It's the same illnesses all the time. Go back and do your research. It's like they can never die from old age in a peaceful way. It's like the industry takes them young, or it uses them up and it spits them out. And look, if y'all feel like I'm tripping, in my comment section, tell me I'm tripping. As the years went on.
And you know what? I'm starting to think that if one person make it past and get their royalties and get their, their whole record, their name back, I think that'll open up a can of worms for everybody. like let's say they had their album and now they get their rights back, they get their album back, they get their royalties back, and they see how much money that is, and they tell everybody about it. I think that that's so powerful that they ain't finna let nobody get to it. Now that's just how I feel. Where it could be going on, that could not be true, but it's a dirty game, man.
The weight of fame pushed D'Angelo to isolation. He withdrew from the spotlight and began battling addiction, depression, and self-destructive habits. Friends like Questlove of The Roots and producer Russell Elevato later admitted that D'Angelo became disillusioned with the music business. The same system that once celebrated him was now trying to control his sound, his body, and his image. Looking back, D'Angelo admitted the fame and pressure nearly destroyed him. I just wasn't built for that level of fame, he said. I had to disappear to find myself again. Even after Black Messiah, D'Angelo still faced battles with isolation, pressure, and health issues. The album was a comeback, but he continued struggling with perfectionism, stress, and exhaustion from the industry. Despite his success, the weight of fame and old wounds never fully left him. Make that make sense. And like I told y'all earlier, it's the same story over and over and over again. These record labels know without us, they can't survive. Without Black Americans, they cannot survive. So they take your soul. And if you don't give them your soul, if you don't sell your soul, you die at 51 from cancer. If they can't take your soul, you die from an OD. If they can't take your soul, you die from a stroke. If they can't take your soul, you die from a heart attack. If they can't take your soul, you die from a goddamn airplane crash. If they can't take your soul, you die from a car accident. And I can go on and on. I told y'all the game is cold with these people. You can never trust them. Angie Stone and D'Angelo, they refused to sell a soul to this music industry. They refused to be quiet. They went on interviews talking the way they talk. They went on interviews really speaking their mind. And while they was together, this music industry knew they had to break them up. They was too powerful. They don't want to wake up Black love. They need.
So y'all see how this plays a real part on how things are today? Like they probably seen them and was like, yeah, y'all, we can't have this. This ain't gonna work. And now look at where we at today with, we just talking about how this woman on there for the podcast show talking about Stephen A. Smith, talking about what Black men need to do and Black men need to cancel this. It's just crazy, man. So I'm gonna be in the Patreon, man, talking about more business aspects of this stuff. And trying to get us to partner up because we need to definitely come together, man, and get things going because ain't nobody gonna save them. Ain't nobody gonna save them, bro. So, man, I appreciate y'all tapping in. I got me a trail tomorrow, man, doing the show, man. I'm gonna drop some more stuff, but make sure y'all smash that like button, push me on the algorithm. I greatly appreciate that. Till next time, I'm gonna tap into y'all. Peace and love.